Great show.
Thank you so much. You know, anything can happen in an encore. It reminds me of a time I was in a place called Pappy and Harriet's, kind of near the end of the set, but like, this whole time there's all these Marines that are off duty, that are in the crowd, and they're like, we hate this, we just want to have dinner, and we want to, like, whatever, you know? And I'm like, come on, man, I'm starting to feel pretty down on myself, and these guys are all boozing it up, getting wasted, and I'm like, okay, you know, I can respect that, but at the same time, I'm on, like, so many mushrooms that, like, things are starting to pulsate, and I'm feeling like my head is kind of somewhere near my feet, and I go off for the encore, come back, and for some reason they've had, like, a change of pace, because I stood on a table, and all of a sudden they're all gathered around me. They love the show at this point, and I'm like, holy shit, all because of the encore? Finish the last song, I jump off the table, and these guys are all my best friends at this point. They're like, Arma, Arma. And they carry me off into the desert, just right out the back door. I don't know, man. That's just the power of the encore.
The encore is a chance to push past the end.
It's that one last moment for them to think, maybe I'll get that song that I want.
Encores are, I find them kind of ridiculous.
Everybody's still calling your name because they want their money's worth.
I'm gonna give you my everything. I feel like you've given your everything. So we've fed off this energy, like, let's keep it moving.
It isn't just walk it off and walk it back on. I try and make use of it.
There's this weird moment when you get off stage where you can reflect on the show and how it's going.
At different times, I think the encore has possibly seemed sort of Las Vegas-y and sort of cheesy.
If you walk off stage and there's no like real off stage, it's kind of stupid to just stand there and wait for people to clap loud enough for you to walk back on.
People sort of almost expect it at shows, and we're the same if we go and see someone, I'm sure.
It's tradition, right? I mean, it's rock and roll tradition.
If they don't come out and do an encore, it's like, you know, it's you feel almost like you didn't get the full show.
The nights that stand out to me now are actually the nights where, for whatever reason, there's a subtle change, and I think, no, they really want us to come back. Like, they're really pushing hard tonight.
Like, you really want one more? Like, man, this is weird, you know? That's the way it's supposed to be.
Being in the audience myself for those times, there were times when I really cheered as loud as I possibly could and banged on every surface with my hands, with my feet, try to add to this surging volume. And you really did feel like if you could yell just a little bit louder, that the band, who you could tell was just out of sight, would actually hear it. And that maybe you would make that difference that would actually have them come back out.
God bless you, see you later. It's a similar feeling when we're going back out to the encore as we got off the stage, you know, with that little bit time between. It's like, ooh, ooh. Unless it was a terrible show where it's like, oh. But if it was a good show, then it's like, ooh. You go back out. It's great. People want to hang more. It's great. It's strange, but it's great.
One more? Is that okay if we do one more?
Before the encore, I run off, immediately grab some water, because I'm like so sweaty. It's pretty gross. Take a deep breath, and then you hear the audience clapping, and as soon as physically I'm able, we'll be like, okay, let's do this. I got this. I love this. Let's go.
I like to have the little break in between because I get so physical on stage, but it's like kind of weird that we all pretend to walk off stage like we're not coming back and do the encore. It's such a convention at this point. But sometimes just the mood is right and you just want that like rock star feeling. And so you can let the audience build themselves up into a fervor.
The origins of the encore go way back to the classical music, traditional concert hall settings.
After someone would sing a beautiful aria, the crowd would ask them to do that part of it again.
There really wasn't the expectation of an encore. It wasn't assumed that people stand up and demand more.
There was no recorded music. And so the audience kept wanting more and more and more, and they would get these repeated encores that would just last forever.
Some opera houses were so put off by the endless encores that ask so much of these performers that they put up signs, no encores. They say, get the heck out. We're not performing Madame Butterfly in its entirety again for the 5th time tonight.
There's a famous story about Toscanini. While conducting an opera, he refused to allow one of the singers to do an aria over again after the crowd called for an encore. Someone challenged him to a duel right there during the concert.
You know, I think now it's kind of just expected, but I really do think that's why it still is considered, you want to make it a moment for people. And it all started back in classical music because it was so special. You couldn't listen to it again.
I always think of Peaches when I think of a fantastic encore. It was 2004, something in there. I went to see her perform in Montreal, and she invited a guy on stage, and she gave him the microphone. And you know, we've all seen it a million times, the person that comes on stage and they're not very good, but everyone cheers them on anyways. This guy was phenomenal.
Sucking on my like you wanted me, calling me all the time like bomb. Check out my Chrissy behind its
And Peaches was watching him so intently, and by the time that he had done like a verse and a chorus, she took him down onto the ground and got on top of him and like started making out with him. And I was like, this is literally the best encore I've ever seen in my entire life.
Early in the rock and roll era, a lot of acts get them on, do the hit, get them off.
The whole famous like Elvis has left the building quote is actually tied directly back to the encore.
He wanted the crowd to perpetually want more and wanted to keep that special power that Elvis had for the next show.
The encore became more of a thing when it was about the star doing his performance. James Brown, along with all the other things that he invented the James Brown encore.
I remember at a very young age seeing James Brown, some live performance with my parents in the living room. And on TV, there was this moment when he breaks down, and when he drops on his knees, you can see, you can't drop to your knees lightly. I asked my mom, what's going on? They put this cape over him like a blanket. They were helping him. This guy came out, and then he won't have it.
Then he runs back in, you know, and gets the crowd going again and does like 15 more songs, and then you think he's about to leave, and then does it again.
Oh, no. Like he doesn't say this out loud, he's acting it all out. All his gestures are larger than life.
Comes back to the mic with even like more energy and just like people think you're done and you can't physically do anymore. It's amazing.
His handlers come out, put the cape around his shoulders, try to leave him off stage. Each time he gets a little further down the hallway.
There's probably times in that moment when he actually really didn't think he could go. And he counted on the power of that ritual to continue.
The fact that he made the encore this ritualized bit of theater where he's not trying to fool anybody. After a while, people know, yeah, he does this every night.
Stuff like that I love, you know, playing with the energy of the crowd.
I did a take on that in the Lady Who Shot Me video. When I'm at the lowest point of the song where I can't go any further, they bring me out a cape, walk me off stage, and then I go like tackle the mic, and that's all like an homage to James Brown for sure.
I was young, I was a kid. I was with my Uncle Bill back home in Knoxville. I started singing on radio and television when I was about 10. And I went out with my big guitar and my Uncle Bill to sing my song. And so I get an encore, and they keep bringing me back. And I didn't know but the one song at that time. I mean, I kept singing it over and over. We were heading back to the car, my Uncle Bill and I. I remember looking at him and saying, they liked me, didn't they? I think I could be a star. And he said, well, that's what I've been trying to tell you. I look back on it now, and I don't think it's because I was good. I think it's because I was little, and they were just being nice. But that made me think that I maybe had something.
When I think of Springsteen, I think Encore. You know what I mean? He's just like the guy who never stops.
Certainly he chose to make endurance part of his whole thing. It's part of the concept. It's not just one little side part of it. It kind of informs and amplifies the whole message of his music. Someday he will do a 24-hour encore, and then he may die, but that will be certainly a good way to go out.
This is called I'm a Rocker.
Our stepdad was a big fan of Bruce Springsteen. He wanted to take Sara and I remember him prepping us.
He played for, I think, 4 hours. You know, his encores will be as long as a lot of bands' sets.
He was in Minneapolis a couple months ago, and he was on his like 3rd encore, and he brought like a 90-year-old lady on stage to dance with him from the audience, and like, he's all over the place.
He's crowd surfing, you know, through the crowd, and he's like 65. I've just never seen anybody give that much to a crowd, ever, in anything.
I can remember that during the encore, like, you know, my stepdad like holding on to all of us. You know, it was just like his favorite thing in the world.
He used to wait till everyone left except for 3 or 4 people, and the whole band would come back out, and he'd blast another 30-minute set for like 20 people.
He influenced a lot of people with his choice to do these super marathon encores. Bob Dylan has done waves of 3, 4 encores at the end of a show. Robert Smith and The Cure have done these epic encores.
Some performers use the encore as a place to express all that excess performative energy that they have that other people just don't have.
During the encore, it's a chance for me to release. Guitars are distorted all of a sudden, and the drummer's playing fast, and you know, it's ridiculous, and where are their shirts all of a sudden? So it's an opportunity for us to cut loose.
The encore is a chance to kind of just take the entire story they experienced and encompass it one more time. So it's almost like a synopsis of the show, but on steroids. You know, you want to just leave them being like, wow.
The worst encore performance I ever saw in terms of overall disastrousness, not music, was when the Red Hot Chili Peppers played Woodstock '99. There were candles handed out to the crowd, a crowd that had been pent up for 3 days. People were not in a mellow, feel the vibes kind of mood, especially since it was hot sun. People had been doing a lot of chemicals. And the Red Hot Chili Peppers come out after candles have been handed out to the crowd, and the song they do is Jimi Hendrix's Fire. By the end of the song, lots of stuff is on fire. The entire festival essentially burns to the ground. It was an encore thing that you planned to be a big explosion of crowd energy. It can be very much the wrong kind of explosion of crowd energy.
One of my favorite things to do is like the anti-encore.
We used to do the Top Gun theme song for 40 minutes at Terminal 5, and it like cleared half the room, which was like, that's kind of the idea, for me at least.
We've definitely done upwards of like 20 or 25 minutes versions of Knocking on Heaven's Door.
We saw Rammstein at a festival in Germany, and for their encore, the lead singer rides this device that looks like a huge penis, and then he all over the audience.
The device does.
The device does.
Yeah.
Just like do the whole song and then start it again and just keep going until the whole crowd kind of like files out because they know it's never gonna end.
I have a friend who said, always leave them wanting less. And I have experimented with that. It doesn't work as well as leaving them wanting more.
If I did have a bad show, then it's like, oh yeah, like now I'm gonna like fuck their eardrums up or something, you know, like really.
That kind of stuff is kind of like where I have the most fun in the encore, where you just sort of like, let's do this tonight. You gotta entertain yourself sometimes. One of my favorite encores I've ever seen was last year on the Stevie Wonder Songs in the Key of Life tour. The audience has been through the whole gamut of emotions just because everybody has their song in that album that makes them cry, so everybody was like, like puffy-eyed and like we're laughing. He was telling blind jokes and just being hilarious. Everybody leaves the stage and Stevie's out there. He's like, all right, fuck this. Stevie Wonder isn't performing anymore tonight. Now you're gonna watch a guy named DJ Tick Tick Boom, and that's me. Give it up for DJ Tick Tick Boom. And everybody's like so confused. I'm kind of like, okay, DJ tick tick boom. And we're all screaming. And then he just starts to like DJ through his like catalog of like other hits that he's had. He was like his own wedding DJ for his like his own life. And then slowly the rest of his band's like coming on stage and dancing. It was like a big dance party. He was like, you want DJ tick tick boom to play some more? And everyone's like, yeah. And then he drops the intro to Superstition. Out of nowhere, the entire band's playing, and all 30 people are playing Superstition for everybody at the end. Like, that was one of the coolest encore ideas I'd seen in a long time.
The Encore has been through a wild ride. There's been ups and downs since its birth in classical. Now it's more or less an established tradition, but there remains that possibility that an encore might not happen. It's not guaranteed. That's what keeps it alive. That's what keeps it exciting.
There needs to be a little chance that you won't play the encore. And there are times on a tour where I don't play an encore because it wasn't that kind of night.
I don't want it to be like they get it every night regardless. Like if they don't earn it, like they got a great show.
It's like, show's over, get the fuck out of here.
Like if I don't go out and do an encore, somebody's gonna punch me in the mouth when I walk out to go get a drink.
It's a rite of passage, but like to get to that level when you can actually do it and know everyone's gonna stay.
If you feel like you want more, let it be known. Encore or Bravo or come out, asshole, yeah.
It has to remain unstable, because if you just can count on an encore, then it's not an encore, then it's just a show.
And it's a way to sort of stop things after the excitement has happened and kind of go, did you guys enjoy this?
You could do something that you wouldn't necessarily do as a part of the show.
We're always thinking of ways that we can either surprise people or, I don't know, maybe poke a little fun at the institution.
I want to do the whole bring the girl out, you know, take her shirt off, do the whole like R. Kelly thing, make out, dry hump her, and then, then maybe that'll be the encore,
We asked the audience after the last song to be silent. We walked off stage and we stood for what felt like an eternity. And then when we walked back on stage, they just erupted.
We invented a new style of encore a couple months ago, actually. So we were walking out to What Is Love by Hathaway, the song from like Night at the Roxbury, and just started shotgunning beers. And that was the encore. And that's it.
I've never thought about the encore so much as I just have now. So I'm probably gonna think about it now for another 2 or 3 weeks. Come up with some other stuff.
Maybe if you use a little imagination, you can think about life itself as a kind of series of encores. There's a time right now where if you give everything you have, it will make something happen. How many times do we get those opportunities in life to be able to give everything, where it actually has an impact? It doesn't happen all the time. I don't know if it could happen all the time, but when you do have the chance and you can realize it, you have to give everything you have. It's not a choice then, you're obligated by this gift of existence. My band and I were playing a show in a venue above a bowling alley. The intensity of the crowd was causing the floor to bounce, sway, and buckle. And the only way I could describe it is as though an entire room turned into a waterbed, and there were people swinging from the rafters, and one gentleman in particular landed on a pile of people, and at that moment, the floor gave out. Hey there, Diane.
Hi, Andrew.
Look, my 300 game photo. Remember that?
Not really, no.
Sewage pipes split open, unleashing a lot of urine, a lot of human waste, probably some fresh water. Long story short, a rat climbed out of the wreckage, perhaps for the first time ever in its life, a chipper kind of expression on his face, and sort of attacked a female bowler because she had a checkerboard pant two of them, and it became the king or the queen of her pant leg scurried up. She flung her bowling ball at the rat on her leg, and it slowly rolled down the bowling alley. Perfect strike. She bowled a 300 game. And if you don't believe that, I actually have the bowling ball right here. I travel with it wherever I go. On tour, I visit as many bowling alleys as I can, so I'd be able to stay connected to the fear and intensity I felt during that encore.